our resistance band lateral raises are a great strength move for the outside portion of the shoulders. And I specifically love these for a finisher exercise whenever we're doing shoulder work as well, because it really allows us to burn out those shoulders and use whatever is left in them. You're going to want a resistance band for this exercise. We're going to set that resistance band down and we're going to step on the center of it. Make sure those handles are about the same distance here. One's not way down, one's not way up. So stand with it, make sure those handles are pretty level and make those adjustments as needed. There are two ways to make this exercise tougher or easier. One, the diameter of the band. So the thicker the band is, the tougher this move is going to be. And then two, your foot placement. With your feet in nice and close, it is going to be the easiest. Widen your feet out a little bit further and you'll create more tension on those bands to make it tougher. So first, find a good diameter band that you can stand on and it's doable, but it's challenging for you. And then you can adjust those feet in or out to make it even more fine-tuned to the resistance that you're going to need for this exercise. We're then going to start with those hands down at our sides. Everything else is very similar to a normal lateral raise. Arms are fairly straight, just a slight bend. We're going to lead with the elbows as we come up to about shoulder height and then control them back on down to our sides. Nice and controlled on this movement. Key things to remember. Number one, biggest mistake I see made is not finding a good resistance band. So either picking too thick of a band to where you're happy to swing or you're not keeping good form, or too thin of a band to where it's just way too easy. So make sure you find a good diameter band first, test it out, and then use that foot placement to make it easier or tougher. Remember, wider the feet are, tougher it's going to be. Closer in the feet are, the easier it's going to be. So that's number one. Number two, just like on a normal lateral raise with dumbbells, really focus on those arms staying fairly straight and those elbows coming up. We are not coming up like this, where those elbows are below those wrists. We are leading with the elbows as we're coming up to make sure that those shoulders, that lateral head, the outside of those shoulders is performing that movement. Another key thing to remember whenever we're using resistance bands here, we want to focus on control. So come on up, squeeze at the top, and then resist that downward motion. Resistance bands are great for this. Kind of resist that pull back on down. You'll get just as much benefit from this exercise resisting that downward motion as you do from the pressing coming up. So come on up, controlled squeeze, and then control it back on down. Last thing to remember, keep a good posture on this exercise, nice and tall, core nice and tight for this one. Make sure all that movement is just coming with that lateral raise at that shoulder joint. Start off with a lighter band, get used to using a resistance band on this, and then progress up to a little bit thicker one as you start to get more comfortable.